Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Combat Mission Beyond Overlord. Afrika Korps. So we are going into turn 31 of this 45 battle in Sicily. Killingfields on Marsala. We crossed the bridge, most of the soldiers that is, and are now trying to take over one of the other objectives, simply called Farm. And here I'm trying to move the last remaining mortar crew with the high explosive rounds, I think around 2 left, to try my luck at knocking out that pesky German gun that surely threatening the soldiers who are trying to cross the bridge, and maybe the tanks. And we're just finishing up here with this turn, crossing the bridge. The remaining infantry, I think mostly the Fiat heavy equipment guys crossing in. We're also advancing to the road here to try to get a better look and also provide some support fire when the real coming toward the farm occurs. The next few turns, that is. Yeah, and some of them are being shot at, and they're just crawling right there for show. And we get a better look at the farm. Mostly shooting happens on our end. And the other squad makes it to the foxhole near the road. It was occupied by the German defender in the last episode. And you can see the Shermans have laid down the smoke to kind of mark the path that the Canadians will use in order to go to the next objective here. It's a bit of an incline, it's a bit of a kind of perilous open ground traversal, but I think that's probably the closest distance between the soldiers and the farm building which we have to capture. You can see the smoke a bit better, and yeah, I'm trying to outline the path that the soldiers will now take in this turn, or try to take, running into the smoke. Germans do have some MGs, MG-43 squadrons lying around on the outskirts of the farm, so just have to lay down the smoke here, and I think aiming at some of the targets identified. Yeah, I think that's one of the MG-43s. And here, on the other side of the crossroad, also advancing, and more soldiers are joining and crossing the road using the smoke here. I think around 5 to 6 squadron, and here it seems that we are being targeted by the gun from afar, or mortar crew. Germans do have some mortar crews, it seems, and this is one of the German defenders manning the machine gun, being targeted by the Sherman. Pretty lucky that we are able to target him. And the other guy is staying back on the Canadian line. He's trying to provide some support fire like that so that our advancing party do not get cut down. So we made it to the smoky area, and the next turn, as you can see, the green line advanced squarely towards that little cover, the brush, over the stone wall. So we have to cross the stone wall in the incoming fire. And there will be some German defenders guarding the wall, and we're going to have to just use the numbers in order to overpower them. More and more troops are joining in, and these guys are providing some support fire on the other side. Keep them honest, and it seems to be suitably smoky, and we are throwing a grenade at the defender near the wall. We saw him put his head up. And yeah, we get cut down a bit there, just before the stone wall, and the Germans are throwing grenades, doing everything we can to resist us, prevent us from crossing the wall. And I think one of the units have been cut down, eliminated, or I think 10 of them, but we also eliminated a guy who was just behind the wall, so we can I mean, we have to make haste, but I think we'll be able to cross it, hopefully, to the nearest foxhole and get into the cover. The Germans do not use the heavy building right there, or it seems that we don't find any defenders in the immediate building, the heavy building. I wonder why. Maybe because the Shermans are able to target it if they can see the Germans inside a building, so I think they were there before with some machine gun units, but they evacuated to the back of the farm. Yeah, you can see the Shermans targeting some Germans trying to head to the building. Try to dissuade them from taking the structure before we can. Still on the stone wall. And this is just along the river. We're finding more and more Italians and Germans. And we are trying to overpower them from the other side. And finally, most of the units, advanced party, have made across the stone wall, trying to get into the building. These guys are providing support fire. Yeah, we are trying to drive these guys out, and I think we are pretty successful. And this is a grape vineyard stretching out from our first objective, and we find another Italian gun manning the position. It seems to be placed there to target the Shermans who might be using the roads to capture the the other bridge, the last objective. But instead it was yeah, we engaged it from the other side, so we had to turn around 180 degrees to face us. And I don't know whether the infantry will have a good time. The Germans are all behind the farm, kind of second line of defense or something, trying to ambush us as we try to approach the building itself. And it says we have captured this objective, but of course it is not true, because we don't see the Germans. We think that we captured it, but not really. Yeah, this is Italian gun, and we are shooting at it, suppressing it, surprisingly. Yeah, and we enter the building, finding those Germans. Going to use this as a launching point to the final few yards to the building, and we are throwing some grenades accurately, but I don't know whether it injured anybody. Yeah, we can throw the grenades pretty far, and we are routing these guys once again. Going over the stone wall, joining his compadres, already driven out from the building. And we have around 6 or 7 now, just below the farm building, and Shermans are covering for us, but also we are being targeted. I think that's a mortar round that dropped on us. I have never faced a mortar strike from the Germans until now. I think they were waiting for us to close in to the farm, and now they're opening up. Next turn we are trying to make for, yeah, I mean not toward the farm, but move into the next cover, as you can see. While the other guys are trying to provide some support fire. And these guys are trying to get in place in order to find any Germans, whether they're being counterattacked or running. And here we have suppressed the Italian conscript here enough that he gave up very easily, in fact. Yeah, so their morale is down the drain. And we can just really steamroll them. I don't think they have any men left in fighting condition. And here we are running very hard toward the farm building, the incline, and this guy managed to cross the road, but I think they're under some kind of artillery fire, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a pretty active shot. I think that's from the German gun. Seems a very... I don't know how they're able to see us, but really interesting. Yeah, I think that's a gun. High explosive shell. It's really doing the number on the Canadian guys here. Unfortunately, caught there in between the machine gun fire and also shelling. Alright, so this now is contested as we find more Germans. Now reverts back to being contested area. We need to really enter the building and solidify the place, driving the Germans out of the outlying sector in order to claim it for our own. And here we are traveling, finding more anti-tank guys. On the Italian side, they're not really much of a threat. And this mess of guys are now advancing. They're kind of tired. And find some German defenders who are caught unawares. They're literally ambushed by us, barging in. And they're now in serious trouble. I don't think they actually knew that we were coming in. I don't know. They weren't even turned toward our direction. Maybe they thought that if they showed up or if they showed anybody who was in the house, the Shermans were targeted. But yeah, we basically taken the house, and you can see definitely the farm building is ours. But of course, the Germans are staying back there and trying to take pot shots, injure one of our men. Yeah, and we're shooting all sorts of stuff. The next turn 39, I think, or 38. Not so sure. Sorry, a bit too small for me to read. So we are basically using the next group of guys to, you know, kind of clamp down here. Drive everything that moves on the German side out. Yeah, that guy was eliminated, and we are probably going to push these guys away too. Concentrated fire. Pointing the fort here, but it's not too bad. We are in a pretty good position, top of hill, supported by the Shermans and other infantry. And now this guy is a platoon headquarters, it seems, and is a bit of a trouble. He's been rocking a hard place. Yeah, got injured right there. A little flinch that indicates they're damaged. And by now we are able to see them for who they are, and he was eliminated once again.
Pay attention.
Second group now makes over the stone wall, unopposed. That's good. And this guy finally makes to the foxhole occupied by the Germans a few turns ago. And we finished the Italian guy there. I think there was a crew or the anti-tank guy. And only thing left for us is that bridge over there. Shows it's contested, but I think, you know, there are a couple of German guns and some infantry now defending the position, so it's going to be pretty hard to crack that defense open. So we need to use a tank, and I want to bring one just to clear the farm area, not asking it to, you know, do too much. Shoot a few machine gun rounds if we're moving and speeding up. I gave an order to speed up at the maximum velocity. And you can see that by yellow lines it is being targeted sometimes by the gun, German gun. But it moves so fast that it's not able to even turn the gun in order to have a good shot at it. You're able to make it safely. Yeah, so fast move definitely worked there. They couldn't even get a shot off, I think. Or maybe they did. And this guy is doing a... Yeah, I mean, supposedly climbing up the stairs, but it seems like they're doing some kind of weird moonwalk up the... like reverse moonwalk or something up the second floor. And you immediately see some Germans down the hill. You know what this reminds me of? This environment and this whole map. It reminds me of Godfather. Although I don't know whether it was actually located in a vineyard or something, but it reminds me of that area. Right, okay, so we have some targets now. I think they're going to be routed very soon though, but the problem now, well, not really a problem, but the next task ahead of us is to take that bridge. It's gonna be a tall order. So I think we need to bring another tank, of course, in order to add to this yeah, the newly captured objective. Try to really reinforce it with both small arms and the Shermans. It's going to be able to really clinch it for us. So if you take 3 out of 4 objectives, I think that's probably an assured victory. But still, there are some German guns here, and if it is possible, we'll be able to drive Germans out from the bridge as well, then we'll be able to also buy for the last objective. This guy is taking a rather interesting position just across the tree. It's rather, I don't know whether it's supposed to simulate, you know, taking down the tree or something, but he's moving really slow for some reason. I'm not so sure why I gave it a fast move, but got caught in the brush like this, and it's still moving in the in the line cover, and then it's going to be like sitting duck for the gun right there. He's able to see right now. And yeah, oh, okay, so I don't know how that happened, but that was actually the German gun that targeted it, just missed. So next turn I have to probably give it a new order to maybe reverse or something, or change its direction as soon as possible. And yeah, and the battle kind of is spreading toward the last objective Germans have. We are trying to shoot at the gun in order to support that Sherman to reverse and to escape notice from immediate destruction. It's showing its size, so if the German gun gets a good hit, there is definitely going to scald it, destroy it. And it's now being targeted, unfortunately, and we can also see it. Yeah, I can also see it, but the gun was basically placed in the foxhole and everything, so it's really well fortified. And here in the backside of the farm, we see some more Germans, and also being under attack by the German mortar. Eliminated one unit though. Okay, so finally the Sherman luck runs out and gets hit. Immediately reverses it though, so that's good. And it was a pretty good shot from the Sherman, and also it was moving too. But it was not enough to dislodge the gun from the high perch. That was not really accurate. Yeah, I was able to escape though, so very lucky for it. Still has some shells left, you know, in each tank or to spare. I don't know what it is doing right now. I think kind of shocked or something. It's very much alerted. Says it's okay, but from the looks of its driving, I don't think it's really okay. Alright, so next turn, turn 42, we're very close to the end, so I kind of decide to, I don't know, by this time, you know, taking over the last objective here is not really going to work out for us. But there's some German defenders, very well-entrenched German defenders. Never mind those guns, but also infantry, veteran infantry. So it's going to be pretty hard for us to take it. But we're going to try, at least give it an attempt. Although most of the units here are kind of afterthought, unfortunately. I should have moved more infantry in a group toward that direction, toward the bridge, but I was more concentrated or more focused on taking the farm here for sure, so wasn't really, wasn't really well prepared to take on the bridge. And then if there's some kind of shallow crossing over point near the last objective, then I definitely would have made a crossing, make things a bit more difficult, but the bridge is also, the first bridge that we took is the only way across the river, so we're kind of SOL there. So we are trying to close in to the German guns, but I think we are being targeted by one of the hidden German defenders alongside the road. And you can see that hidden defender here, infantry. We are targeting it right now, and it's situated under a tree. I think that's light brush cover. And another tank moves on, now with the infantry on top of it. I wonder whether it gets any hot on top of engine cover. You know, they're getting a free ride, so I guess they can't complain. The Shermans are really fast. I think they're like traveling 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. It's pretty dangerous, of course, for the infantry on top. If it gets hit by the gun and stops suddenly, you know, to fly off the tank. And the advanced tank just moves in time for it to arrive at the crossroad away from the line of sight of the German guns. They're being kept busy by the constant stream of fire from the infantry, but now they have more juicy targets in the form of our advancing infantry on this side. I think it was a mistake for us to bring in like 3 squadron, because it's going to be, yeah, they got hurt, although it didn't appear that it landed near them, anywhere near them, but yeah, I think it got hurt because they called out medic. A bit of a scattershot attempt here that is not really working out for us on the right side. We are, trying to maybe pressure them enough to maybe surrender, or if you're lucky, you can knock out one of the gun crew members, and if only 1 or 2, then maybe they're willing to surrender given the low morale suffered by the Italians. In retrospect, I think, it might have been more interesting if I gave these guys, along with the 25% bonus to the manpower, but also +1 to the morale. It might have been tougher to get the Italians out from the first objective, and also the Germans would have been very, very difficult to deal with, especially those protecting the farm. At least these guns are really, really good. They're like veteran units, and they seldom miss. They're able to pressure 3 squadrons, not tightly packed together though, but 3 squadrons from, yeah, closing in.
Help me! I'm here!
Beautiful graves. Don't know nothing about the carnage that is going on right now. I don't know. Okay, so we find, I think these guys have all low ammo, so the rate of fire is rather small from these guys. I think it's just enough to get them to be noticed or something, or divert attention from the other infantry that are actually closing in and threatening the position, and also this tank as well. Now I'm making a move here, using the tank with the infantry on top, a little risky, toward the bridge, the final objective, and see what we can do. If anything else to, I hear Italian guy. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so they're able to make some accurate shots, and also the Shermans on the right side or left side here, able to fend off some of the German defenders still in the area, and these guys are slowly making its way to hunt for their guns. It's definitely in our sight due to the infantry being so close. Yeah, finally we drive them away from the foxhole. And these guys also crawling away from the gun and mortar strike, it seems. So yeah, I didn't really count on the mortar also accurately targeting our infantry there, so unfortunately our attack or attempt to take over that gun was thwarted. I could have probably made it rather close if I was able to knock out that German gun using the mortars in the previous episodes, or even now using the gun. I mean, trying to give enough distraction away from the Sherman here by support fire, but the gun is able to shoot without any trouble. We got 2 shots in before the gun, I think, is able to answer back. Kinda inaccurate, unfortunately. I don't know why, but the optics are not good, I guess. Yeah, 3 shots without any answer from the German pack. So, I mean, yeah, I gave it all the chance to knock it out. If it can't, too bad. It's just unlucky. Oh, finally it answers and gets hit, but not knocked out. The gun was damaged, so it basically is useless now. Just have to reverse and try to preserve some points for us by not being knocked out here. But yeah, Peg is able to deliver another accurate load, and I think one of the crew members knocked out of action. But the tank is still operational. But it is routed. Only thing you can do is reverse, I think, by now. Yeah, so it is routed. So I cannot even give any order. So it's sitting up if the gun is able to still target it. Yeah, I mean, the infantry is kind of holding on near the stone wall. That is our new line just before the final objective, but I don't think we can take it. It's now turn 47 out of 45, so we basically were given 2 extra turns right now. I'm not so sure why. Maybe because they thought that they wanted to see the outcome of this battle between the Sherman and the gun. Or maybe they could have tipped the scales to in either direction or something, or it could have moved up our victory from like major to total or something if I was able to knock the gun out or even advance a bit further, taking more territory. Yeah, I mean that was it. That was conclusion. So yeah, things got a bit difficult for us on the right side, but I wasn't really serious about taking it anyways. I was just trying to see whether I can knock the gun out and get some more points, but wasn't successful. But it's still a major victory. I was able to inflict, I think, 3 times as more casualty on the Axis forces. Yeah, around 3. Around the 50. I think most of it coming from the Italians, unfortunately for them. And some of the guns, yeah, that the Germans are using, 75, yeah, that is probably the most common anti-tank weapons. They were very effective. And I don't know what the gun crew started with, but it lost 4 men out of 6. That's probably the maximum number of gun crew members that unit can have. And I was able to whittle it down to 2, but it was still operational. It was accurate in its resisting of our infantry and also 1 tank. So it was very, very superb. And here you see some German mortars. Was able to knock out 12 infantry already. Still had plenty of shells, plenty of rounds, but didn't use all of it. And I mean, range of it was probably enough to attack us right from the get-go, but strangely it was waiting for us to take the farm before doing anything. Yeah, to get all the eliminated units and low ammo, so we're basically at the end of our effectiveness here at the end of 45 turn battle. And I think most of them were probably I mean, some of them were also part of reinforcements, so they had some ammo, but it's running low. Yeah, another mortar unit for the Germans. Didn't spend, I think spent probably around half of the shells trying to support that gun over there. And don't see any other mortar units, but I think there are at least 1 more mortar unit that was targeting us on the left side. Yeah, some of the units here have gone through some heavy battle and was able to take a lot of casualties, even the gun. They're involved in yeah, some very hectic situations. Yeah, Shermans did this job well. I think they just use it as a mobile artillery self-propelled gun in order to target certain areas, such as the farm over there, and also the Italians in the crossroads before the bridge, as we clear the pathway for the infantry to cross. So all in all, it was a pretty enjoyable mission. I got a victory, but unfortunately I wasn't able to capture the last one. You know, if you're skilled enough, you probably could have expanded pretty quick from the very beginning and overpowered the Italians and then gone through to both at the same time on the other side of the river. Alright, so thank you for watching once again, Combat Mission Afrika Korps. I'm going to return with I think a random battle, but it's not going to be keeping a weekly schedule like I mentioned in the December update. I'm more inclined to try out certain interesting stuff for now, but then combat mission battles will continue in one form or the other, so please wait for it. I hope you enjoyed this battle like I did, and yeah, so see you next time.